Okay. Exhibit statement. Notice of 90 days expiring. Jane Doe plaintiff versus Stephen K. Bonnell II, defendant. Comes now plaintiff Jane Doe by and through undersigned counsel and respectfully submits this notice pursuant to local rule blah, 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 that more than 90 days have elapsed since the submission of plaintiff's motion for protective order governing public commentary by trial participants. In addition, plaintiff respectfully provides the below detailed supplemental evidence to apprise the court of an egregious new incident of online harassment and doxing by defendant that further demonstrates the need for requested protective order. Plaintiff's motion seeks a narrowly tailored protective order to curb the ongoing harassment, doxing, and intimidation that threatens the integrity of these proceedings. Okay. Defendant has recently engaged in additional online conduct that underscores the necessity of the requested protective order. Specifically, on October 29, 2025, defendant published on the social media platform X, formerly Twitter, a post identifying plaintiff's spouse by her legal name, accompanied by a screenshot from an Instagram post depicting plaintiff and her spouse, along with a private chat thread between defendant and plaintiff from October 2023. Defendant only included the messages from plaintiff and omitted his own responses. See Exhibit A. The spouse's social media account is not in her legal name, but instead under a pseudonym. Defendant nevertheless deliberately identified her by her legal name in his public post, thereby linking plaintiff's pseudonym in this litigation, and effectively disclosing identifying information was designed to safeguard. Nice. The defendant then falsely and maliciously accused plaintiff of having committed a green card marriage fraud. The post has been viewed 498,000 times and received 179 replies. One of the replies includes a link to an ICE tip form encouraging defendant's followers to report plaintiff's spouse in order to have her deported. Whatever this is has nothing to do with the case. Accusing her of what? The green card defamation, whatever the fuck. Yeah, but like you don't have any evidence that would detail anything that would prove the original cause of the case. This can't be used as supplemental evidence either. There's just a complete sham, stupid shit. So this is what the thing was referring to, the schizo filing, okay? A few months ago, an old mutual friend of mine, Pxie's, Virginia Ferrantini, started screaming at me when she saw me outside of my apartment complex. Apparently, she lived in the same one as me, just connected the dots, and realized that Pxie committed a green card marriage fraud with her. Virginia Ferrantini, okay. Committed a green card marriage fraud with her in order to get her citizenship in the U.S. Lamau. Crazy that there doesn't seem to be many other interactions between them. Must have been a short relationship. I don't think she's gotten divorced, right? Like, I don't think this is divorced. Was the green card process difficult when you went through it with Melina? Okay. And this is their marriage photo. Iowa West official. And I'm guessing the reason he did this was out of spite. Because Virginia Ferrantini was essentially shouting at him, harassing him IRL. So he did this out of spite, right? Doesn't really matter. They said wife, not past tense, in the filing? Oh shit. Has anybody told Lonenbox? Plaintiff's spouse's legal name. To track down identifying information about plaintiff, and another reply to defendant's post has posted plaintiff's legal name and other identifying information. It violated the court's protective order at docket 7 and asked counsel to instruct the client to immediately remove. Despite the time-sensitive nature of the matter, defendant's counsel, Mr. Brettler, did not substantively respond. Mr. Brettler's response asserts that the post did not violate the protective order because it only pertains to documents filed with the court. Okay, so I'm guessing that the protective order only refers to the documents filed with the court, right? So it's not like that thing is something new that is entirely new, right? But this is like, this is within the confines of the court files or whatever the fuck, right? Like this paper, but not the tweet, right? The tweet has nothing to do with that, right? So Exhibit B, Mr. Brettler's narrow interpretation of the court's protective order is both hyper-technical and contrary to the order's purpose, which explicitly prohibits any disclosure that identifies plaintiff or family members. Furthermore, the protective order requires that under no circumstance shall any person disclose a plaintiff's name to the media without consent of the plaintiff's counsel. Defends deliberate disclosure of the spouse's legal identity. A family member whose identity is necessarily tied to plaintiff constitutes an intentional breach of the order's confidentiality. Blah, blah, blah. This new posting exemplifies a defendant's ongoing campaign to publicly expose and disparage plaintiff and those associated with her, further justifying the need for the broader protective measures requested by the pending motion. This incident mirrors the type of conduct that the motion seeks to prevent and further demonstrates the ongoing risk of prejudice to the integrity and to the plaintiff's safety and well-being. Blah, 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 blah. Wherefore, the plaintiff requests that the court take notice of the expiration under Rule 7.1 and grant the pending motion of the protective order. Okay, so this is just like the ongoing schizo smearing campaign against Stephen, right? Where he is unable to fight back in any way, but meanwhile, Pxie is allowed to write a Substack, basically accusing him of the most craziest shit, and having all the anti-fans run wild with the Rose shit. But meanwhile, he can make like a single attack back in any kind of substantive way. It's just extremely silly and hypocritical. But, you know, this is the double standards is the entire point, right? Cruelty is the point. Double standards is the entire point. You know, trying to silence Stephen from speaking his mind or from attacking you back is quite hypocritical, considering how you wrote a Substack, literally smearing him in every single way. A lot of people don't even know what the fuck is happening until you posted a Substack related to it. And in addition, the GoFundMe as well, which are both public. In addition to communicating with J. Stoke and Queeman in private, but you know we can defer to the audience. Okay. Destiny's tweet didn't link Pxie to the case at all. He's allowed to talk about Pxie, just not identify her as the plaintiff. Yeah, I agree with that as well. That's very silly. And I also like how in this one, like if anything, this bringing this to the spotlight, it would be the one that exposes Pxie, essentially, right, to the outside world. But, you know, pretty cool. Good memes, okay? Good memes, very funny. Pursuant to Local Rule 5.4b1 of the Southern District of Florida, Plaintiff Jane Doe, by and through her undersigned counsel, respectively moves this court for leave. Wait, hold on, real quick, okay? Since this is out in the open now, okay? Since this is out in the open, I think it's worth it to say that if it's true that they are still in fact legally married and they have not divorced, right? So we know for a fact that right now, as of today, they have not divorced, right? So if they have not divorced, I wonder if anybody that Pxie decides to date right now or romantically engage, that she would be willing to tell them that she is in fact legally married. And what I'm curious by is whether or not Virginia, her supposed legal spouse, has any issue with that. Assuming that she has no issue, and this is in fact for the green card, well, I wonder if Pxie has told any of her dates that she was in fact legally engaged or legally married. If not, then that is quite the romantic scandal. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff right here, okay? Oh, okay, so this is by Brettler. Wait, what is Exhibit A? Exhibit A. Oh, okay, so this is to the opposing counsel, right? So this is Brettler writing to the opposing counsel, right? Okay. So as we recall, Pxie's counsel has written an email to Brettler, I'm assuming, in regards to this situation. And Brettler, this is Brettler's response. Okay, let's read this real quick, okay? Dear Joan and Carlos, we write in response to Joan's emails from 7:56 a.m., 10:21 a.m. He is in fact stretching this out himself. Destiny? I'm not sure. I don't know if you can say for sure, because it could be the case that he somehow stretched this out for himself, right? But it could also be the case that this doesn't affect it in the end, right? Like whether or not this has happened would not affect, like, yeah. Because I wonder how much of it is, like, in fact, like, get it? Boom. They filed the motion. Yeah, sure. He probably anticipated that. It's literally required money and time. I don't know about time. I don't think, like, whether or not the judge rules on the motion to dismiss gets slower as a result of this, right? The decision on the motion to dismiss may not be affected by this, and or it could be affected by this. We just don't know, right? I don't know how that stuff works. But also another thing is that it could entirely be the case that Destiny wants this to happen, on purpose, maybe. I don't fucking know. Okay, we'll see. Dear Jong and Carlos, we write in response to Joan's emails from 7:56 a.m., 10:21 a.m., and 1:13 p.m. PDT today, in which she baselessly accused Mr. Burnell of violating the protective order, dating blah blah, on social media, and repeatedly demanded that Mr. Burnell immediately delete his post and publicly apologize to plaintiff. He is not obligated to do so. Nothing in Mr. Burnell's social media post violates the terms of the protective order. The protective order governs documents filed with the court. Conveniently, Jung omitted this qualifier in the portion of the order she quoted in her first email this morning. The protective order does not restrict public commentary, nor does it impose any general confidentiality obligations to the parties. Right, because if the protective order did protect that kind of stuff, Destiny wouldn't have been able to read the court filings in the first place and commentate on Pxie and her lawyer team's action, right? If that makes sense, right? So it would make no sense in a world where Destiny is allowed and Destiny has read the transcript, read all of the court filings, that he would not be able to produce a tweet such as this, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. The protective order does not restrict public commentary, right? That includes like commentary on a live stream or commentary on a tweet, right? Hold Mr. Burnell in contempt for discussing the June 3rd, 2025 hearing on social media. Plaintiff advanced a similarly frivolous argument to the one, like, for example, if Destiny first did the reveal of the green card thing on his stream or something, right? I mean, that is the equivalent, right? Because, on his Twitter, whether or not on his Twitter or on his stream, that is same thing, right? It's in public. You're revealing it to the public. You're putting this statement out there, right? But yeah. Plaintiff advanced a similar frivolous argument, blah, blah. I remember when they filed a motion saying, oh, why does Destiny, why is Destiny able to do this? We need to block Destiny from commentating on it in public, right? But I remember Destiny saying, like, oh, the reason why I commentate on it in public is because I can't afford to be quiet. I have to, even though it forces the opposing counsel to continue filing new motions, and they'll continue to try to waste my time and money. I have decided that this is a good cost-benefit analysis, like, kind of situation, and I'm going to continue to commentate on this because my public reputation is being stripped day by day, right? But yeah. He's taking public image damage every month that goes by, exactly, which is why he has to at least stem the flow a little bit. It's a cost benefit analysis. Once again, he probably thinks in his mind that it's worth it to spend money on counting, like new money on countering like motions that they are filing in order to like basically try to discredit Pxie, right? But yeah, he needs to learn self-control to cope. I'm offering the best faith explanation, the devil's advocate. As I said before, and I've said time and time again, okay? I'm here to offer the best faith explanation and the most plausible reasoning for any action that he takes and any action in this case, okay? You can call me sweeper if you want, but principally, this is what I'm doing, okay? Because you need the best argument against the best argument on the other side, right? So, yeah, determine for yourself. You're welcome. Undisclosed or confidential information on social media and anywhere else. Mr. Burnell merely reposted what blah 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 previously published on his own social media pages. Normally, I'm optics fine with Destiny here. Sometimes revenge is based. Sure. Also, I think anti-fans are generally more sensitive to punishment. One thing I've kind of noticed as well is that the anti-fans generally seem to be quite sensitive to punishment. Like, you've noticed that when Destiny has essentially doxed J-Stelk and Queeman, that the anti-fans made a huge deal out of that. They made a huge deal out of that. They made a huge deal out of the doxing of J-Stelk and Queeman, right? And out of the statements that he has said. And they were actually shook by it. Like, they were unironically shook by it, which I would say good. That is a good thing, right? Because you don't want them to have infinite jurisdiction to go after Destiny without any kinds of consequences, right? Which is why, again, I advocate for, my doxing position. So, like, yeah, I believe this is all consistent with what he's doing and what I believe. So I don't really care. Okay. social media the accounts. Finally, the conclusion that Mr. Burnell defamed plaintiff in his post, suggesting that she engaged in green card marriage fraud, is unfounded. Plaintiff admitted in correspondence that she produced in this case that she was marrying blah 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 because she wanted blah 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 to stay in the United States. Plaintiff further expressed her concern about the affidavits and interviews. Blah blah blah. Okay, all right, doesn't matter. If post rises to such a level of actionable claim, complete defense for a claim for defamation, plaintiff would be exposed to significant liability, including but not limiting to paying Mr. Burnell's legal fees in connection. Yeah. So I believe what Brettler is saying here, okay, aka Saul Goodman, all right, the Saul Goodman IRL, okay, IRL Saul Goodman is saying that if Pxie were to accuse Destiny of defaming her on Twitter, then you would be subject to Florida's anti-SLAPP laws, and you trying to make some accusations such as this, especially in a legal filing, like we're gonna count that as a mark against you, and we're gonna, strike back when the time is right? Which is something you probably do not want, and it would include paying Destiny's legal fees in connection with having to defend against such a claim, so it would not cost them money, right? So, yeah, all right. Well, I mean, absolute cinema, I guess. Okay, what is this response? All right, let's take a look. So this is the main document, okay? This is the quick back and forth that they're having with one another. Also, guys, please like the stream and please donate if you could help fund Destiny's public legal defense, aka me. And on Kick, you can donate there. It would be a 95. I would keep 95%, and Kick would take 5% in comparison to YouTube's 30% fee. So please consider also donating on Kick. All right. Any kind of support, financial support is appreciated. Okay, thank you. You guys pay my financial fees and my rent. All right, on God. On October 30, plaintiff Jane Doe filed an untimely notice of expiration, unauthorized Sir reply brief styled supplemental evidence in further support of plaintiff's pending motion for a gag order against defendant Stephen K. Burnell. Blah blah. Okay, all right. First, Local Rule 7.1 imposes a burden on a moving party to file within 14 days of the 90-day expiration date a notification of 90 days expiring. Plaintiff is now just getting around complying with the court's local rule. Plaintiff filed her reply on June 23rd. Wait, so what does this mean? Does this mean, like, you have to file something like this within the first 14 days of the 90-day expiration date, a notification of 90 days expiring? Plaintiff, okay. Second, Local Rule 7.1 requires the noticing party to provide specific information. Okay, so they're basically saying, oh, you didn't provide enough specific information, I'm guessing? Including the title and docket number of any and all responses or opposing memoranda, and our so-called notice. Jesus, this is shade being thrown. Plaintiff failed to provide the requisite information, further demonstrating that the true purpose of filing her notice nearly a month after it was due was to give plaintiff an opportunity to submit an unauthorized SIR reply. Substantively, plaintiff seeks to draw and benefit from public assistance while pursuing her lawsuit anonymously and seeking to muzzle Burnell at the same time. Sure. So, like, I would say I understand this part of the argument at the very least, because what this is saying is that it would seem unreasonable for you to try to take this privately and try to take this case privately and to continue to treat, this case as if it was done in private, right? When the plaintiff, aka Pxie, when in fact she has made a public GoFundMe, got financial support, and she has also made a Substack, right? And continue to talk about the case on her Twitter as well. So, like, there's like multiple parts here where it's very clear that Pxie is basically announcing her court case and taking it to the public and exposing more publicity and exposure to this court case, right? Meanwhile, it seems unfair that Destiny would not be allowed to do such a thing, right? Yeah, okay. Plaintiff continues to promote and associate herself with her allegations against Burnell. I wonder if J-Stock Discord lawyers commented on this. Oh, you mean Litigious Gamer and Esports Batman? I don't know. They probably definitely have. They're probably refreshing the page every day, at every given hour. Honey, it's time for dinner. Not yet. Not yet. I'm busy refreshing the page. I have to check if there's any new court filing so then I can keep coping. Name confidential. Plaintiff has repeatedly attacked and maligned Burnell online, including through her Substack posts. True. Social media updates. True. Right. Oh shit. So wait. Right. Remember, I said this. Right. They took my argument. So Substack, social media post. Please for additional witnesses to come forward. Yeah, okay, yeah. So this one as well. I forgot to mention this one. And solicitations for donations to her legal fund, which I mentioned. Right. So 3 of the 4. Got him. Okay. All of which have been viewed collectively more than 1.5 million times. In fact, this court has already noted plaintiff's substantial public commentary about this case. Yeah, right. She has commented, she has made multiple tweets about this, obviously. Everyone knows, but hey, just mention it here, okay? Plaintiff's counsel representation regarding counsel's meet and confer efforts is grossly misleading and inaccurate. Attaches Exhibit A to the declaration of Brettler dated October 31, 2025, and filed concurrently herewith is a true and correct, partially redacted copy of the letter dated October 29, 2025, that Bonnell's counsel sent to plaintiff's counsel in response to plaintiff's false contention that Bonnell violated the protective order entered in this case. Throughout her notice and her attorney's supporting declaration, plaintiff misstates and omits key portions of Bonnell's October 29 letter addressing plaintiff's allegations. Rather than burning the court with further unnecessary pleadings, Bonnell respectfully directs the court to Exhibit A of the Brettler Declaration. The Brettler Declaration, wherein the facts and legal arguments are laid out concisely. Okay, right. Pretty stupid shit. I mean, my only commentary on this is that Pxie's counsel and lawyer team continue to be extremely retarded and useless, and they do not help themselves. And I hope that when they dismiss the case, or if they dismiss the case, or they're trying to make a plan to dismiss the case, that in fact they take this part at least into account. So then to add to the argument to dismiss the case. Okay. So I hope that the judge sees this case for what it is. Okay. Accordingly to the transcript, the judge seems to be aware. So we will see whether or not the judge wants to dismiss it. But the judge may not dismiss it just simply because it might set a bad precedent. Who knows? Okay. I don't know what the judge is thinking. I don't know how the judge thinks about things like this. But who knows? Okay. Yeah. Gosh, I need to start submitting job applications after this court thing ends. Bro, I am fucked. I am fucked after this also ends. Jesus Christ. Or I need to prepare my backstabbing for Steven. I need to prepare my backstabbing. After this is over, we move on to the Rose trial. Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Hope Lauren De Laguna sues. Then we'll really have cinema. Dude, can you imagine trying to cover the lawsuit that is filed by the Thorpes? Oh my god, please. If I have to cover the Thorpes, stupid fucking lawsuit, I think I might actually just lose it. I just don't think I could just handle it. It's just be so fucking stupid. I want a lawsuit upgrade. I don't want a lawsuit downgrade, okay?